OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We are officially on the week of WrestleMania. The biggest weekend of the year for wrestling fans is coming up. But before we sit back and relax and enjoy WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday, first of all, we have to stand and deliver, because NXT Stand and Deliver is coming on Saturday, kicking off the weekend with some amazing wrestling. And I couldn't talk about NXT without two of the most NXT people I know, Morgan and Ross on the Outcasted podcast. Let's go, baby. How are we both doing? Are we excited?
Hell yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited. And to get to talk about it with you boys is the best.
It's nice to have you back, man. We've tried so many times to get you and work conflicts between
so many.
Yeah.
Right. I literally messaged this guy. Dude, I messaged you on Monday and I was like, by any chance are you able to talk about NXT on Wednesday? And he was like, actually I am. And I was like, yes, let's go.
All in.
We got a load of matches to go through, like not your average typical 5 matches, I don't believe, on NXT this time. Suited
yeah,
and
they've added quite a few extra. Yeah.
I know. So I don't know where to start, to be honest, because all of them are going to be bangers. I'm not going to lie. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of intertwining moments at Stand and Deliver, especially when it comes to Dark State, because that faction is cooking right now, dude. That is one of the most interesting things in WWE, not just NXT at the moment. I love Dark State. I just want to quickly discuss the whole like parking lot brawl that they were involved in this week in NXT with the
fantastic.
It was fantastic. It really was, man. And it harkens back to what I was saying a couple of weeks ago in terms of NXT storytelling. Like you don't just have Dark State there that looked amazing in the brawl. But then you had like Tony D show up and like Stacks was like, "Oh, we got to go. The police are in." He's like, "Nah, they're on my payroll, because we're the mafia and shit." I was like, "Yeah,
that was my favorite bit."
Is that right? It was so good. It was amazing. I am excited. At the same time, I'm worried for the D'Angelo family. I have a feeling that our boy Stacks is moving not in the most. Not in the most copacetic ways when it comes to the D'Angelo family. He is a double agent. It's not fair. Don't you do this, Fredo. Don't you dare do it. I swear to God. I'm going to start calling him Fredo if he does.
I think it's... You go.
No, go on. I want to know what you think after all this time.
I think he's less of a double agent and more just aiming for like the head of the family.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, you know what? That's true. That's true, actually. But why would you try and like seat Tony D, man? He's so good. I don't know what Tony D is going to do without like a mafia storyline. I really don't. If he gets kicked out of the family, that's like his whole thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be the most difficult to try and book him main roster if he's not got a mafia gimmick or anything like that. Because I'm like, that's all I've ever known Tony for, and
he will be
anything different.
He will just be a one-man APA. You will just see him in the back with a door, just sitting there playing cards with other people. It'll be one-man APA. That's what it will be.
Oh, it will have like a whole Godfather. You come to me in the middle of my cards to ask me a favor.
My guy is going to be like a loan shark on the main roster. That's going to be a gold gimmick. Like if we're gonna just like stereotype Tony D, let's just like hit all the marks. Like, he can't run the family anymore because it's been taken off him, so now he's a loan shark.
Yeah,
he's a lone boss.
All I want to add to this whole brawl as well. I don't know if you guys felt the same. I got took out of it for a moment because they added the sound effects of like the crowbar hitting them, and it's a crowbar hitting metal. So like,
yes,
you're seeing him swing at people, and it's got the crowbar sound, and I'm like, well, he didn't hit the car; he's directly hit bone. Like that's not the sound it makes. So for a minute, I was just questioning the audio team because I'm like, did you play the wrong track? Are you just
Dark
looping
State just
when he
have-
was smashing the car? Like,
Dark State just have like Roman armor under their all like the hoodies and shit.
legit. I was just like, what's going on?
Literal abs of steel right there. Just
Yeah,
you saw.
The police showed up and like Dark State like 12, 12, 12. We got to get out of here. Just hear their armor clinking while they run away.
Ding, ding, ding.
They'll show the power armor like in Fallout.
No, I was gonna say they're freaking T-1000s. They're freaking Terminator.
Yeah.
Just leanest thing on the planet, just be able to disappear in no time.
Yeah.
Doesn't say.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I thought it was really cool. I think Dark State is very much quickly growing on me. There's some people in that group that I'm like, I've kind of seen them. Because one of them went through the whole LFG thing. Well, is still currently doing LFG, and also he was in that previous thing they did as well, where it was taking people doing tryouts and did like a documentary run of it. I can't remember what it was called, but people.
I know which one you mean.
Yeah, they had that one, and now they've turned that into LFG. So, he's now joined NXT in that side of it, and I think he's doing really well from the position he's now landed in. And I like a lot of the guys in that group. So,
there's one guy in particular who's like really good on the microphone. Is his name like Osiris Griffin?
yes,
Yes.
Is that him? Yeah, he's very good on the mic. And he always catches my attention. Like when, they do like the whole kind of Shield promo where they're going like from one to the other. Like he was the one who always catches my attention. I've got like high hopes for a Dark State. So we might as well talk about the match. We've got the D'Angelo family versus Dark State. I'm going to go to our guest, Morgan. Who do you think is coming out on top of this match?
I think it's got to be Dark State, to be fair. Like, it's that big establishment. It's that first time they're coming out. They've got to show up and show out, especially a standard deliver. So why not give them that opportunity to take somebody down like the D'Angelo family? Especially if like you're having that turn on the horizon. I don't think it'll be at standard deliver, but it's coming.
Yeah. Like I think we can all agree the fact that Stacks is going to have a pivotal role in the downfall of the D'Angelo family in one way or another. I think, like you say, I don't know if it's going to be a standard deliver. It wouldn't surprise me, but I think they're going to save that till the loss, and that's when Stacks is going to be like, I think we need to change your management. Like, I don't, Tony D's not really hitting the marks for us anymore.
They all join the Cullen.
They all join Oh God!
No.
Please
Oh,
no.
I said it's a joke, but it might actually happen.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
I
Jesus.
was gonna say, don't let WWE writers see that. He's like, oh my god, this guy's a genius. Quick, add it in.
Jesus Christ! Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God! Yeah. I think we've got enough people in the Cullen. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with that. I really couldn't.
I'm gonna start calling it the cutting because the more people that join that, the more I want to see it leave WWE. Ross, who have you got for this and why?
I'm the exact same as Morgan. I think very much Dark State have in their promo said they're very much standing on their own business. They've got their own agenda, and they want to send a message. So perfect way of doing it at Stand and Deliver. Show they're standing on business, get the win, and deliver an emphatic message of we're the new group to watch out. Everyone backstage, watch out. We've took out the people that can take out anyone. Because not being funny, we've seen enough of NXT to know that Tony D can make a phone call and get some people assassinated and make them sleep with the fishes.
Right?
You have a group that beat the hell out of him. It gonna make people look. So yeah, I've got to go with Dark State. I can't see it any other way. They're your new guys. You're gonna want to get a hot streak under them. You're gonna want to build it. So I'd book them. And as like Morgan said as well, with the turn happening, it makes sense that maybe Stacks tries to save Tony from like a dangerous hit. And that's what cost them the match. And then that's what slowly starts building into the next part of it, of them two kicking off. So, yeah.
I'm down with that. I think this match is going to be the most interesting on the card because it's like got a lot of implications. It's got ties to the main event, in my opinion, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I think Dark State have got a lot to offer NXT, and I think with the D'Angelo family. Like I say, it saddens me. But you either at this point bring them up to the main roster, or you implement a storyline where you lose that faction, unfortunately, because they've been around for a long time now. So it's it's make or break.
Yeah,
to be honest. I'm gonna talk about the tag team division for a minute, because we saw a pretty impressive gauntlet match in NXT, and Hank and Tank, fair play to him. I mean, they weren't my pick to win that gauntlet, to be honest. But
I saw the eye roll there, Morgan. That's not being hidden, bro. That is too real, because I feel that.
I was impressed. Like, for a couple of big beefy boys, they got some stamina in that match. Fair play to them. I was kind of pulling for Briggs and Inamura, like, throughout this whole gauntlet. But you know, we got Hank and Tank. I mean, again, Morgan, I'm inclined to come to you and ask your opinion on this, because now we got a tag team title match. Stand Deliver. We got a team of Fraxium versus Hank and Tank. Mr. Morgan, I wonder who you've got and why.
I think this is I think this might be the only time I am rooting for Fraxium to win.
My man.
Yeah, I understand the story we are trying to play with to tell with Hank and Tank, but I cannot get behind this tag team to save my life.
Same, bro.
Like,
I can't.
I have tried, but like I basically just fast forwarded through most of this gauntlet, because just each time I saw them getting close, I was like, no. Why are we doing two gauntlets? It's like, why are we doing two gauntlets in a week, whether they go end to end, wire to wire?
Dude,
Yeah.
honestly, like, so they took down what are even their names? Tyreek and Tyson, them two, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine, whatever.
Understandable.
They've got plenty of time to build Tyson and Tyreek. Then they went ahead and took down Nico Vance and Brooks Jensen of the Cullen, and I was like, I feel like this faction's taken a lot of hits in the past couple of weeks, like with Spears losing the title. I'm like, now you're just going to feed into Hank and Tank. Okay, cool. I know where they stand on the roster now.
Yeah,
okay.
Basically.
Yeah. I was like, then they beat No Quarter Catch Crew. And now I'm like, I'm like, okay. And
yeah. Nah.
They beat Tavion with a schoolboy roll. I was like, oh man, come on, dude. Like, that's bullshit. And then Briggs and Inamura came out. I was like, right, this is it. Like, surely, like, 4 matches.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they're getting past the 4th match. Surely not. And then they just did quite easily. Like, Inamura and like Briggs give him a bit of a beating, but the match, like, with them two, was only like 3 or 4 minutes, and they won quite easily. I was like, what? These two guys have just run through the entire division. After, by the way, losing about 7 in a row.
Like 6, there's every team under the sun they've lost to on the way to this, and they've gone through all of them. No, I was like,
yeah, and like Vic Joseph said this perfectly. These guys had lost to every one of these teams before this over the past couple of weeks, and then just run through them. Like, okay, stamina bar upgrade level. Jesus Christ, my rise. Anyway, Ross, why do you think Fraction's winning this match?
I was gonna say it's fucking obvious who I'm picking as well. It's Fraxium, and I'm the same again. This is one time I'm actually rooting for them to win, because Hank and Tank to me are still in that finding their feet tag team. And yes, you've just shown me a gauntlet that they got a very, like, I don't want to be that guy that says lucky run out of it, but that's how it felt to me. Like, they won with very quick, easy methods that any tag team could kind of do. There was nothing significant. I sat there and was like, oh, that's unique to them as a tag team. It kind of just felt like it happened. And like, for me, Inamura has been one of my favorite go-to watch at the moment in the tag division of NXT, because I think them two have been really playing it well. And it kind of sucks that they've had this rise to then consistently fall. They always get that Cinderella feeling about them. Anytime I see them getting close to Fraxium, and they've always had close matches to Fraxium. So seeing them lose to Hank and Tank very quickly, even though they beat them a few weeks ago, I was a bit like, okay, weird.
Yeah, I don't really understand why we've got Briggs and Inamura together if you're not going to do anything with it. Because like the tag team kind of, I mean, if you didn't watch Noah, to you, an NXT viewer, the tag team kind of formed out of nowhere because Briggs gave him a jacket because he let him stay at his apartment in Japan.
Exactly. Yeah,
and that's it, isn't it? That's literally it. Just give them any form of context.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, we're going to give you the bare minimum. It's just they've built a friendship as they looked after each other in Japan.
Yeah.
That was it. And it's
like I say, essentially, it's that. And they've been perceived as this big threat. And now we have nothing.
And that's the other thing that annoys me in Briggs' situation with that, because a few like last year, he was talked about being in the main title picture. Like, he was going against Dijak. He was putting on bangers. And it's now like, oh, we don't know what to do with you. We got rid of your previous tag team. He's now in another faction. You're in yours. You had that feud for a bit. Now we're just going to make you into a random tag team. We'll think about it later. That's how it feels to me. And that kind of infuriates me, because I was very hyped on the original trio. I loved Briggs. I loved Fallon. I loved that whole, we are rough and ready cowboys. We own our own like Western bar. I thought that gimmick was sick for all three of them. To kind of have them broken apart, I think the only one who's benefited from that, in my personal opinion, has been Fallon now. And
I would say so, yeah.
I think Hank and Tank need so much more development time, and I don't think putting them in a tag title match in the biggest stage, because I'm not being funny, everyone now knows Stand and Delivers are your actual pre-shows before Mania. Anyone who's going to Mania is going to go Stand and Deliver beforehand. They're not going to go, oh, let's go sit and watch the 3-hour pre-show at the Mania Stadium. Let's actually go down the road. Let's watch actual wrestling to go into more wrestling. And for me, it just, Hank and Tank don't feel like the right choice. There were better choices 100% in that tag team. I would have even liked to see Fraxium have gone through so much of the NXT roster. It would have been really cool to see some tag teams that aren't getting on the Mania card at least get on the Stand and Deliver card. Perfect example. I think someone that could have really put their paces through Fraxium and really showed of like, hey, Fraxium, are you guys really the best tag team? Like how they did with the whole Hardys angle. I think it would have been really awesome to see Motor City Machine Guns rock up and do something with them. But
okay, I wouldn't have minded that. Yeah,
but we have Hank and Tank, and Fraxium just easy win.
It's not going to be an easy win. We're going to be upset when Hank and Tank take the titles.
I know, right? Like we're all saying,
I swear to God, like, if they do, I'm really questioning the tag team division in NXT again, and I hate doing that because usually it's on fucking form.
It cooks.
Yeah, usually it's a full course meal cooked. This just feels like a fucking pot noodle. That's how I feel at the moment. It feels like you used to give me the meal. Like, I love tag team wrestling. NXT used to be my go-to for tag team wrestling. Lately, I'm like, I kind of just can't be arsed.
Yeah, it is a shame, and I think it's mainly because some of those tag teams that really glued the division together have gone up to the main roster. I mean, you look at the Creeds, you look at Pretty Deadly, you've got Gallus on Evolve. Like, there's not, they're kind of just not there anymore. And like, I mean, fair play. Every division has to go through like a transitionary period. That's absolutely fine, but you know, it is difficult to watch sometimes when it's just Fraxium. Fraxium wins low, like every single time. I thought it was really silly when Chase U won, like for a week, and then they won him back. Like, what was the point?
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
it's like, we're gonna test the waters. We're gonna show that Fraxium can lose. We're gonna give it to Chase U, And then they were like, "Oh, Chase, we know you're like a comedic group and you can easily eat pins and it doesn't really affect you. Cool. We're going to give Fraxium the titles back because we realized we shouldn't have made them lose yet, especially to a comedian group." That's how it felt in my eyes, at least.
Can I just quickly shout out the other side of the tag team division at the moment? For the record, I do think Fraxium are also going to win. But like while I was thinking about it and while we're talking about the tag team division, we have got like a bit of I think it's a pre-show match. And it's a fatal four-way women's tag team match to determine the number one contenders for the women's tag team titles. I'm not going to lie, I can't remember all of the teams. I know that Roxanne and Cora are in there. Are we guessing that Roxanne and Cora is going to win this?
I kind of hope they don't, and that's no disrespect to either of them, because we all know they are arguably the best tag team that NXT can do. They are some of the greatest solo talent in that division as well. So it's like you've put two of the best solo girls together that know how to work in the ring with each other as well because of their rivalries with each other. It's going to be a banger regardless. But I feel like, and you guys can obviously correct me, this is just my opinion on it. I think Roxanne is already being done dirty enough that she got main roster. She did dope in the Elimination Chamber. She had really cool spots in the freaking Rumble as well. And it's kind of just been looked over, forgotten about, and she's bounced back to NXT just to do a pre-show tag match. I feel is very disrespectful, and I would rather her be booked in a better way in this. But I understand why they're doing it because it's bringing back that last time.
I don't know why they're doing this. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when I saw this segment on NXT, boys, like, correct me if I'm wrong, or if I'm moving different with this really pissed me off. Like when Roxanne Perez walked up to all these women and were like, "Oh, so everyone just gets thrown on the card except for me," and I was like, "Yeah." Like,
basically,
why is she left off the card? Like, she has been Mrs. NXT for the past year. She's put on the best matches, and like I said, I'm one of those people who really got turned around by Roxanne Perez. Like, I didn't like Roxanne Perez in 2023. Wasn't a big fan heading into 2024. I'm not gonna lie. However, she really made a believer out of me with this new title run that she had, and the fact that you've got this woman who this is probably her last NXT pay-per-view on the Stand Deliver, possibly the pre-show, in just a throwaway tag team title match is a bit ridiculous. There's a possibility, I suppose, that her and Cora get drafted up and they win the tag team titles. But I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
I'd rather them both be solo stars. Like, as I said, I think they both still shine as solo stars. And it's no offense to Cora Jade as well. I think she still needs a little bit more time in NXT, just because we lost a lot of story time with her that we could have had, which isn't her fault. It's just injury time made us lose stories that I think can still be developed in NXT for her, especially with the other girls. I would really like to see Cora Jade go against a Stephanie McCall, go against a Jordan Grace, do like what Roxanne has been doing of going against them new names coming in and showing like, well, I'm the actual standard. Like, I've been here day one. I created the standard. I'd love for Cora to stay a little bit longer in NXT and do that for a bit. But I think Roxanne's already done enough and hit that, especially as we've seen her going into the main roster pay-per-views. So it just feels weird that they keep flip-flopping her is the best way I can explain it. Especially because she got jobbed out on Raw as well this week.
Oh, against Tiffany. Oh, no, it was on SmackDown. Yeah.
SmackDown, sorry. Yeah, she got jobbed out on SmackDown. Yeah. Which I was, once again, I was just like, you do realize who you've just put in a match against Tiffany. I know Tiffany's your champion, but honestly,
That confused. Sorry to interrupt. Honestly, that
No,
confused
yeah.
me because if you were going to do a Charlotte run-in anyway, why wouldn't you just do a Charlotte run-in where she gets Tiffany disqualified, or she helps Roxanne win? Morgan, what's your take on all this?
I think it's a really good spot for her.
You think so? Really? Oh, go on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
That's very interesting to know.
Yeah, go on. I want to hear you out. Go for it.
Okay, because you are correct in everything that you guys have said in regards to he sets the standard. It's like she set the standard for the women's division and all of these kind of things. Bang on matches all year. So why not put her as the opener to stand and deliver to deliver the hype going into the rest of the pay-per-view?
Okay, I see in the booking way of how you're looking at it for that. I can see that. But I think the way they got her to get into the match didn't make her look good because it made her look like she was begging to get that spot.
Oh no, what she was doing is making entirely good points because everybody else, you can effectively go, yeah, basically everybody's on the card. It was everybody in the pool.
Yeah.
Where's my opportunity? So to make her get to a place where she has to swallow her pride and literally drop her ego to team up with the person she screwed over, and as they screwed each other over, and go, if this is the only way we get on the card, to eat a bit of crow, especially from a character who's been so obnoxiously arrogant for no reason in some cases, especially the last few weeks, like losing to Kalani and that kind of thing. It gives that opportunity for her to be like, okay, fine. If I have to, this is where my spot is going to be. I'm going to make the best of this spot. And if I have to do it with you, I'll do it with you there. But I'm going to make sure that I'm the unforgettable one.
Okay.
It's
yeah,
I like that train of
like
thought.
that. Yeah,
I don't mind that train of thought, and that is a good point. But let me just pose this to you: Roxanne Perez has won every single championship in NXT. Am I wrong?
NA she has one.
Except for one.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not throw her in that ladder match, dude? I don't understand why.
I don't think she needs a North American run.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't need it. Well, like you say, she's an egotistical pick me. I'm the prodigy. I should win every single title in NXT.
I get what you're saying with that. Yeah, okay. I get
it.
You're saying it would add to the gimmick. It adds an extra flair. But then I feel like if she... To add to Morgan's point as well, opening Stand and Deliver and being on the pre-show makes it easier to still be drafted if the draft is coming after Mania, because then there's not much left of a storyline for her to go in after Stand and Deliver, and she can just be a permanent main roster at that point. So it is using the last bit of her hype, especially now that you've sat down and gave me the thought of it. I can see very much the perspective of booking. That makes a lot of sense because then it clears her calendar as well after that match. So,
do you know what? I'm not going to lie to you, dude. From the explanation that you just given your side of it, it's made it a little bit of an easier pill to swallow. Still don't really agree with it.
No, it's still difficult to sit there and be like.
But I get it. Yeah. So the way Morgan explained it, made it easier for me to take.
Yeah.
But
100%.
Still hate it,
but it still hurts.
yeah.
I think that explains most of our thought process with pay-per-views. Anyways, there are certain positions of certain matches. We're gonna all sit there and be like, I don't like this, but I'll sit there and swallow my pride because there's potentially a good match out of this, which we are getting. We're gonna 100%. We're gonna get a good match from this.
That match is gonna bang.
Exactly.
I think it will bang. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And to be honest, the follow up, if I said, if I think Cora and Roxanne are gonna win, which they probably will with this storyline going into, maybe.
I don't think they will.
Oh, do you not think? Who do you think's gonna win it then? Again, I want to hear it. I want to hear this.
Okay, it's interesting. Morgan's got a face like that. I don't know if it's biased or not, but I really want Chemical X to actually get it and have some fun there. because for me, they've been one of the most interesting kind of like not super used groups, but I think they have such good chemistry as the trio of them. And I think Tatum and Gigi really bounce off each other incredibly well with their gimmicks, and it makes that very strong bond already from them. And for me, I always like the characters that already show they're like, well, we're the weird kids, we were the forgotten about kids. Like, I always kind of enjoy those story angles well of like, well, we're the underdogs because you would never pick us as, you know, your star talent. We don't fit the look, we don't fit the model, we don't fit the criteria you're trying to push at us. If Soul Zara, whatever they're calling it, I can't even remember what they're calling it. Zaruka, that's it. If Zaruka weren't in the ladder match and they were in that tag match, I would have gave it Zaruka 100%. Like, straight up, that would have been my team. But because they're not,
Bazooka, that Zaruka, baby.
Yeah, Zaruka, Bazooka, the Zaruka.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm down for that.
I mean, I understand what you're saying about Chemex. I think, to be honest, you put them in a. I want them in a feud with Fatal Influence. I feel like they would bounce off each other quite well, like as like opposing opponents and opposing characters. Literally mean girls versus unpopular girls. Like yeah.
That's what I was going to say, and it very fits the mold of, like, obviously Fatal Influence are trying to be like we're all high fashion, we're models, we're divas now. I hate that word diva, but you get what I mean of trying to explain that kind of characteristics.
It works if that's what they're going for. So yeah, I agree. Yeah. And they are going for the diva thing, kind of. I mean, not to like the over the top, not as much as like Toxic Attractions kind of style was to it. It's more of the we look good and we know we look good. We've got that ego about us, but we're also going to show that we can kick ass in the ring. And that's what I like about Fatal Influence. I miss Mandy. Speaking of ego, how about we talk about the men's North American?
You missed Morgan's pick of who actually wins the tag match.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, you did. You didn't.
Go on, Morgan.
I said Chemical X.
It's the Mad Girls. It has to be.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I can't really argue with that. I mean, they have been overdue anything at this point. To be honest,
like, if we talk about how Roxanne's been done dirty in regards to her push on the main roster, the Meta Girls went up earlier them went up and have not had their flowers since. And if you're looking like with like spoilers, I think Liv and Raquel are retaining at Mania. That's a mirror match. It's Bougie Bully and Big Back Raquel like versus Liv and Jakara. That's that mirror match right there. That's NXT. Yeah. That's giving you NXT what NXT's about on the main roster.
That'd be great. It would be great. Like I say, I feel like our three picks. Either way, I think that's going to be a good match for the women's championship. Yeah. If the champions who they are right now retain, I think each match offers a different type of dynamic. I'm also kind of interested in the kind of heel versus heel dynamic. Like I say, if Cora and Roxanne win and they go up against Raquel and Liv, like the heel versus heel dynamic, like, you know, I feel like that would work. The Meta Girls, obviously Morgan's just explained perfectly why that would work. And then, like you say, Chemex, I think in terms of you've got cool goths in the Judgment Day versus the outcast kind of goths in Chemical X. I think that'd be an interesting little thing. Ross, can you talk about Fatal Influence's ego again, just so I can do my perfect transition? That'd be great.
Want that Fatal Influence have very much have an ego, especially Fallon Henley being like, "Where's my rematch? Where's my rematch?" Playing into the fact of like, I should have never lost because big ego.
They do have an ego. Yeah. Speaking of ego, why don't we talk about the men's North American Championship match, guys? Yay! We have got the champion, Ricky Saints, taking on all ego himself, Ethan Page. Now, I'm just going to quickly give my thoughts on this. I think it'll be a good match. These two at the moment are doing absolutely nothing for me. I'm sorry. I really I'm not interested in this feud. I'm not interested in this rivalry. I think it'll be a great match, but that is about it. I could not care less who wins this match. I think it was too quick to give the title to Ricky. I think Ethan Page has just been kind of floating for I don't know how long at this point. Even since the Javon Evans rivalry, again, great matches. Wasn't really asked about the story, to be honest with you. It perked me attention for a little bit, like around like the end of the year, start of January. But apart from that, no, I wasn't interested. And then with Ricky Saints has been kind of just walking around the locker room in segments going, wow, this is a mean place to work. Everyone's so angry all the time. I'm like, what are we doing? It's Ricky Saints. Can we make this guy a bit more interesting? I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing something. Like I said, I think it was too early to give him the title. Maybe wait till Stand and Deliver to give him the title. Maybe this should have been the Sean Spears Ricky Saints match. I know that's maybe not a Stand and Deliver match, but I just thought like a random episode of NXT to give Ricky Saints a title just didn't feel right for me. Maybe I'm missing the mark. Ross, I want to know what you think. I'm missing the mark with this. In my opinion, I think Ricky retains. But what do you think?
AEW Dark's looking really good right now.
You ain't wrong.
Right, I'm sorry. I've got to put it as it is. Ricky Saints, what the fuck are they doing to you? Like, bro, everyone says about like the grass is greener on the other side. He's getting booked the same as how he was getting booked in AEW, in my personal opinion. Everyone knows he's a star. He's trying to force himself into the I know I'm star potential. They have done nothing for me with him. I'm the exact same as you. I don't think it was right to take the belt so early off Sean Spears, give it to Ricky Saints. I think they should have built into the story a lot more, especially seeing as Ricky Saints and Sean Spears have had a history in the past. They should have added like a trilogy of matches to then Ricky Saints getting this. I think Ethan Page is too fresh and early off his belt loss as well to go dive straight back into a title picture. Yes, I know it's the mid-card title, but my point still stands. They should really be focused on building better storylines for him and better direction of storytelling with him, because I think the thing that lacked in Javon Evans' case was that the story kept kind of just repeating of the smile, where it got more and more intense between the two of them, which I loved, but I felt it kind of just was getting to a point where it was falling flat because there was only so much Ethan could say about, I'm going to break your smile. And then Javon Evans rebuttaling, being like, you're not going to break my smile, I'm going to break yours. Like, they worded it better with promos and they sold it better, but Ethan needs more stories than belt defenses, in my opinion. In my case, I think the person that should have gone against Ricky Saints was Wesley.
I mean, yeah. Again, I feel like at this point, and this is the problem that it holds. We've put the title on Ricky too early. All this match is at the moment is really who's going to give Ricky the best match at Stand and Deliver, because there wasn't enough time to book a real story. I know that Ethan's had a bit of tension with Ricky since he joined I nearly said TNA then, NXT, because obviously he still wants to be the fastest person to come and win a championship, blah blah blah. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Morgan, I feel like you've been the voice of reason for this entire podcast. Are we reading it wrong or what?
No, you're pretty much bang on. Yeah, I think the issue is this is very much ego booking. It feels like in the sense of, oh, we're just going to show people if you leave AEW, come straight over to us, we're going to treat you phenomenally. It felt almost WCW-esque in its execution.
This is what I've been saying. This is what I was saying. Like, just to add to Morgan's point, it fucked me off. Like, Ethan Page's one made sense when it originally happened because of the ego, that how you booked the name, the ego, and him coming in, being one of the quickest stars from a different brand, taking the belt, made sense. Perfect. Then you very quickly give Lexus King the Heritage Cup. You very quickly gave Sean Spears North American. Then you give it to Ricky Saints. Look at freaking Penta now. Penta coming from AEW. Oh, you're now in an Intercontinental match as well. It's like, what are we doing here? You can't critique AEW grabbing all these WWE guys and making them champions real quick, or booking them more than your talent, when NXT and WWE are slowly doing the same right now. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it.
Yeah, I would say Penta and Ray are different because Penta's been built over a few months. Ray's coming in and doing, like, Ray Phoenix is doing his matches and getting there. But then also, like, how Ethan won the title wasn't convincing. It was opportunist, so it worked. But yeah, in regards to this, I don't mind a hot potato of a title. But in this case, it just, like I said, it feels very, we'll give you a title if you come over. And I know that's not the case, like a lot of the time. It's just that we're in bidding war season, so everybody's going to be trying their luck. But yeah, it doesn't feel great. We're going into a situation where guys are, this is just going to be a good match. I'm not interested. I haven't particularly been invested in the North American for most since Oba dropped it.
Correct.
So for me, this is just going through the motions.
Honestly, I think that, I'm not gonna lie, I really think Javon Evans should have held the title by now. I
could say that.
I do think they've springboarded him into the main event over the North American title scene for some reason, when I think he should have had that mid-card title, and I think he would have maybe had a couple more, maybe like a Wesley run with the North American title, which I think we all enjoyed.
Well, that's why I said I think it should have gone back to Wesley right now. You've got two new guys alongside him. Wesley's kind of gone back to his heel ways. He's not the same as the North American when he was babyface and pushing until obviously the injury happened. I think they really should play into the fact of, I finally got my title back, and I'd love to see the story progression of, because he's got the title back, he starts becoming a babyface again, and the two guys that are with him that are meant to be heels start noticing this and being like, what the hell are you doing? We joined you because you were meant to be this badass. Now you'd like completely changed. That's how I wanted to book it, because I feel like it just feels weird. Wesley, kind of, in my eyes, still has unfinished business with that title. And that's just me.
I think you've got a situation here again, and I feel like I've said this a lot, where you've got a lot of great people in that mid card, but no one's really got like a justifiable reason for fighting each other at the minute, and I don't really know why. I mean, I think there was a certain point at the end of last year where you've got people who can put on banging matches with each other, but we've got a slight gap between, hey, we can have great matches together, and hey, we can make a great story together. I think that needs to go back to the basics when it comes to NXT and the North American Championship, because obviously it's very much the IC title, but in the developmental brand, right? So yeah. I personally, like I said, would have kept the title on Sean Spears a little bit longer, up until Stand and Deliver. Maybe have Ricky Saints win there, but honestly, I don't think Ricky Saints needs a title. I don't think he needs one right now. I think he's still establishing in himself. I think he's still finding himself as a character and where he fits in that division. I think there's a couple of people who he could have great rivalries with and tell good stories with before he goes after that title. I think that when he wins the championship, if he wins the championship, if he retains the championship, my bad, sorry. We'll see a lot more of, like, you know, what he's got to offer after WrestleMania season. But I think it should have been more of the other way around. Like, I'm fighting for a title instead of I've got the title, come and get me. It feels too early for that kind of stuff, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
something that feels a bit reversed and off. Sorry, guys, go on, Karen.
No, you are valid in that. Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, he should be like fighting for a spot to get our Stand and Deliver, and then be screwed over, and then be in another match that leads
Yeah.
into a rivalry instead of being here as like one of the cornerstone matches that effectively of the weekend for NXT.
What I also think as well, I think how this storyline was booked was the wrong way of booking it being Ricky Saints. That everyone was like, so many other people were interested in this belt. It wasn't the fact of they were interested in fighting the champion. It was interested in the fact of they want the belt. Their storyline is for that belt, not for the I want to fight the champion that's holding the belt. And I think that's kind of what's very much hindered us having an interest in Ricky Saints on this side of it as well, because they had, like, as you said, Rhys, they haven't really built anything to develop into. Okay, yes, you're a guy that's came from AEW. You're saying you're the Revolution. Why are you the Revolution? What makes you hit that? Like, we need more build up on that. Like, we need consistent wins. And then all those 4 people standing in the ring wanting the North American, it's because they want to have to take the name down of Ricky Saints, not the fact of I need the North American. Like,
I agree, and I think the main problem with Ricky since he's joined NXT is, honestly, I just think he needs a bit more screen time. Every time we've seen him on NXT, it's either been like a 30-second segment where he's talking about, like, oh, it needs to be not. Why is everyone so mad, etc. Or I'll see you in the ring next week. Like, I think there's maybe been one or two promos that he's been able to cut since he's been there properly, and it's like, I want to see more of you. I want to see more of your character. Like, I like a lot of people know who you are, but I want to know your motivations for being here. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, like, Morgan, who do you think's coming out of the win?
Saints.
Yeah, it's probably, like I say, it's probably going to be a banger match, but I think this is like one and done maybe between these two.
I hope so, genuinely.
I think Saints will win, but personally, I think it's going to happen via a DQ. I think one of the other guys that were trying to fight to get that spot, maybe even a Wesley, maybe Alexis King, somehow they come out, interfere, cause a riot.
Oh God, please don't talk that into existence. I don't want to see Alexis King anywhere near anything. My guy has done the one thing that's interesting about the Heritage Cup and stopped doing it. Like, what are we doing? Like, they're just taking the rounds away. Don't understand that. If we're being honest, I think the meat of this card like starts off with this match. Like I said, I think it'll be a good match, but after this, I think this is where we really start cooking, because we've got the Women's North American Championship ladder match.
Facts.
I am very invested in this match. I very much want to see who's going to win this. I think there's a lot of potential in this match. I also think that there's a lot of viable winners, to be honest with you, like where we can take this title. But Morgan, I'm going to go to you first. Who do you think's going to win?
I don't know.
Put you on the spot there, dude. Put you on the spot.
Yeah, you have. No, it's not even the fact that on the spot. Like, I had Zarya in my head, basically. Like, what if Zaruka were going to win, effectively, when I saw them? And then Thea Hale returned this week, and I went,
Yeah.
I think that might be my choice.
Honestly,
yeah, go.
I was gonna say, honestly, dude, like I can't blame you. As soon as I saw Thea with that new theme song and like I'm my own woman now, I was like, you might be my pick.
Instantly like, okay, yeah, no, that might be the pick. And I kind of hope it is after everything, because this will be the validation of she is her own woman from Chase U, and then you can almost have that interaction with her and Mr. Chase, where she's holding the belt and he's broken, but he can still be proud in those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. He comes out like
That'd be
raises a
cool.
hand. Yeah.
Maybe
And
not
like,
that, but like a backstage segment.
well, yeah, okay, yeah, that. Or with Andre Chase, I think at the minute, I think that'll do wonders for his character if Thea Hale wins, because he'd be like, maybe I'm not such a screw up if Thea Hale's, learned something off me and was able to win a championship.
Yeah.
Then maybe Chase U isn't over. God, I hope it's not over. I love Chase U. I love Chase U so much. But yeah, Thea Hale is a good shout. Ross, what about you, dude?
Well, Morgan already said my original pick, so I was hoping we were on the same wave. Sorry is my pick. Genuinely sorry is my pick. I'm sorry, you made such a massive deal that she was going to be this absolute storm, which came in the division. You had a really cool in that Iron Woman match with all the others, Jordan Grace and everything like that. And then she kind of just got put in this tag team. Don't get me wrong, love this tag team. One of my favorite segments I get to see every week on NXT is them two, especially the training arc that they did. I thought those were some of the most fun. Yeah, some of the most fun I had. Like still to this day, I find the whole scene of them with ice cream and she just slams the ice cream. Like I'm just like, cool. That's one way of showing a powerhouse and powerhouse. I'm just gonna destroy your ice cream. I was like, yeah, that for me it's hard because like you've got to still make a big deal out of her because I don't want to be a dick, but the debut fell flat now because all the vignettes, all the build up to her coming now kind of has like washed away. This is how you start building that hype back up, especially with a belt like that. And someone like Sol Ruka, I think would be very interesting to be like ringside, help her out, but then also like, look, I've helped you defend your belt lots of times. I know we're friends. I know we're a tag team, but would you give me an opportunity? I mean, if I win, it's still in the hands of our tag team. I would love to see that kind of story. So, yeah, that like, don't get me wrong. I think the Thea Hale shout that you said there is a massive one, and I think that's a very great booking, especially for Thea, because she kind of definitely needs that. Because yeah, I've never really seen her the same as soon as she lost freaking Chase U. Like, man,
it's a shame,
yeah, what a shame. What a damn shame. I still miss Chase U days, man. But yeah, like, Thea really showed how good she is in that for me. She really came back, really showed up. So yeah, I'm still gonna pick Zarya, but I could see your point of Thea.
Dude, honestly, like I say, there's a lot of options. I mean,
it really is. There really is.
Honestly, man, like I mean, I'm half tempted to pick Lola Vice. I'm not gonna lie, because she is another person who has kind of been cooking for a while on NXT, and she's got a very well established character. She is strongly booked whenever she is booked. And I feel like WWE have been looking for something to do with her for the past year or so. And maybe this is the opportunity to finally pull the trigger on Lola. Because I really wanted her to win something last year, anything. And she just didn't. And then I think there was an injury problem. And it's just been up in the air for Lola, and it really annoyed me. So I am really tempted to pick Lola Vice. I'm not gonna lie. Until Thea Hale came back, and Lola won on NXT, I was like, do you know what? We might be looking at the next North American champion right there, because she was booked very strong in that match as well. Like with Tatum, that was a very, very good match in NXT between those two. But like she was shown to be fighting back constantly. She had a lot of parts in the match where she was very dominant, and she won with that spinning back fist, which is a really, really cool move. I like it. It looks great whenever she hits it.
It's interesting to see such like an MMA move as a finisher as well, because like a spinning back fist, you have to have such control to not actually like land that shit properly.
Yeah.
And like accidentally sink it in. So anytime I see her landing that as a finisher, I'm like, yeah, you have my utmost respect.
Yeah, it's difficult. Do you know what? I am very tempted to pick Lola Vice.
Do it, you coward. Do it.
Go with your heart. Go with what your heart tells you.
I know. But like, dude, both of you have said the two people, like obviously Thea. When I saw her return, I was like, she's gonna win it. Before this week in NXT, I was like, Zaria's gonna win it. So, so I'm just there,
Bro,
like, yo,
we need to stop doing this to you, because when we have these predictions, we change your opinion, and then you end up usually being right. This has cost you
I
before,
know,
so
yeah,
if you do
yeah,
this,
that's
it's on
true.
you. It's
That's
on you,
true.
bro.
Yeah, that has happened like 3 times in these NXT
Exactly.
things. Like,
We're just that convincing.
dude, honestly, right? I come out with all this logic, like, oh yeah, I think blah 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 is gonna win it because of this, and then someone turns around and fucking says like, oh well, I think Javon Evans is doing it because this and that, and I'm like, yeah, Javon Evans is gonna win, and then he gets battered by Ethan Page, and I'm like, oh right, great, there goes my point, amazing. So
There goes my hero.
yeah, there goes my jaw. Right. I don't know. Screw it.
You
I'm
got
gonna
pick.
pick Lola. I'm gonna pick Lola Vice. Go on, Lola. Let's go, Lola. Anyone but Kalani Jordan, and I'm happy, to be honest with you. I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
lie.
yeah, I get that. I get that. As
I
soon as she
don't.
turned heel, I've not been a fan of her since she turned heel. I can't get behind it.
Dude, I've not been a fan of her since she showed up. Never known since she turned heel. I thought she was terrible.
Damn. Okay.
She can't cut a promo. She's overrated in the ring. She is rubbish, and it was too early, sorry, to put that North American Championship on. And no, good sir, keep Kalani away from my championships. Thank you. Send it back down to Evolve or some shit, please. Bring some of the Evolve girls up, like Kylie Ray, and send Kalani Jordan down. Down. Baby, are you down? Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Right.
me and Morgan are just like, we're gonna keep quiet right now.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, Lola Vice for the win. Come on, Lola. I've locked it in. She better spinning backfist someone off the top of the ladder. I'm so hyped for Lola Vice now. Screw Thea Hale. Who cares about Chase U anyway? They were crap. Zarya, rubbish. Stephanie Bakura and Julia are better than you anyway. No one wants you to win. So yeah, that's my opinion. Let's go, Lola. Let's absolutely go. Shake your beauty all the way up to that top of the ladder and win the title for me. Let's go. I'm so down for it. I'm hyped now. Lola Vice for the win. Longest reigning North American Women's Champion of all time. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Mickey James wouldn't be happy about you saying about the booty comment, but hey ho.
Who won't?
Mickey James, I don't know if you saw the LFG thing that happened.
Oh, has she got a problem with it or something?
No, basically, one of the girls in LFG was kind of basically wrestling in what her gear kind of looked like a lingerie set, really.
Oh.
And Mickey James just basically pointed out, like, I fought in the Divas era. I fought for the fact of we didn't have to dress like that to wrestle anymore. So seeing girls with half their ass out pisses me off, basically, is what Mickey James said. And I'm like,
Hi, Mickey. Hi, Mickey. I'd like to introduce you to Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. Hope you like them.
I was like, there are multiple wrestlers we can list here that do that. But hey, you know.
Shut up, Mickey. Your husband got RKO'd. Anyway, let's go to the women's NXT title fatal 4-way. Probably the most, apart from the ladder match, the most interesting match on the card, in my opinion. You've got Julia. You've got Stephanie McCaw. You have got yourself Jada Parker. Let's go. And the juggernaut, Jordan Grace. This is going to be a really cool match because, again, kind of like the ladder match, you've got like viable winners for each of these people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like any of these people could win, and I wouldn't hate it, to be honest with you. Ross, I'm going to go to you first. Who do you think is going to win, and why do you love Julia so much?
That's like a 2-leveled question, bro. So you have a statement you say in most pay-per-views if a certain wrestler is involved. Never doubt Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
I'm the same for Jordan Grace. I never doubt a Jordan Grace match. I can't doubt her here. I think Jordan Grace does this. I'm sorry, like that's where I stand. I have to. For me, Julia is great, but it would make no sense having it slapped straight back in that scenario. Because, with all due respect, is like, why drop it to then get it straight back the next pay-per-view after? Because I know they dropped it for injury's sake, but it's like, if you knew she was only going to be out for like a month, you could have just had her not defend anything, have a storyline, and just cut promos for that time leading into Stand and Deliver. Instead of dropping it out, giving it to another person. Like, that's just my opinion. I think Julia is an outstanding wrestler. I think she brings a breath of fresh air to strong style that very much Shinsuke was the pioneer for. I see a lot of Shinsuke's style in Julia's wrestling. Hence why that's why I love Julia. Is she is one of Japanese best hard-hitting wrestlers. Go back and watch multiple of her matches in Stardom, and the point was made. When you watched a Julia match, you watched someone kick ass. But it's the exact same for Jordan Grace that I say. Look how many times Jordan Grace has been multiple times Impact and TNA champion. Watch how many times she has kicked ass, showed she is the juggernaut, showed how powerful she is a wrestler. And I don't know if this is me just being like, contracts and things. I don't think Jordan Grace would have walked away from TNA if there wasn't something down in the line where she knew she was going to get that big, big push because of how much she was a TNA diehard when she finally got that company behind her back. So I'm going to say Jordan Grace gets this. I just got to.
Wow. Okay. You're damn. Okay. I'm not going to lie. Fair play to you, dude. Honestly, I thought you was going to. I thought he was going to take the easier out and go for a title retention, but you've gone out there, dude. You've gone out there and said there's going to be a title change. Fair play. Morgan, are you thinking the same?
No, it's going to be a retention. I'm just really annoyed that we're doing another four-way in a takeover.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's one for you. I'll pose this question to you. Do you think they should have just put Zarya in this match instead of Jada Parker and put Jada in the North American one? Because you've got an interesting situation there then where it's like all of the new signees are at like a Stand and Deliver in a main event. I thought that would have been cool.
I get the idea of it being cool, but the problem is, as I said, Zarya had lost all her momentum and the build-up, so you couldn't slap her in because it would be like a sink or swim for her, and it would make her sink because she would look good in the ring, but she would not be able to cut the same level of passionate promos or hold the same ground that Jordan Grace has already done and what Stephanie Vacour's doing. That's how I say that in that.
That's fair.
Also, to like elaborate on that, like Jada Parker's putting work. She's like surpassed that North American level. Like for now, this is time for her to test her water with those Jordan Graces. With that, but like I said, I think it's going to be a retention. But I think you're seeing the next 3 feuds for Stephanie through this fatal 4-way.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I agree with what you just said about the whole Zarya thing. I just thought it would have been, if there would have been any time to do that, it would have been now. Because like you said that momentum thing about Zarya. I could say the same for Jordan Grace. She's only just come here. I don't think she's built up that much momentum since she's been here.
But the difference is with Jordan Grace, she already showed how much more dominant she has been. She's got a Rumble under her belt where she showed how she went against the main roster.
She's a big name. She's a big name.
She has that momentum of being known to a US crowd.
Yeah.
She's done
exactly.
She's already appeared on NXT as well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, she was one of the main key points of that Iron Women's match was seeing Jordan Grace in that, and that still since that point onward has been carrying on building her.
Yeah. I mean, I can honestly see what you're saying, and also why you've actually picked Jordan Grace. It's I don't think I would be mad. Like I said, if any of these people won, I really don't. I like Morgan said, Jada Parker has put in that work, dude. Like she had a phenomenal 2024 in everything that she did. I think her mic skills have improved. I think she is fully grasped and understood what her character is. I just think she's the full package. At the same time, it is unfortunate that Stephanie, Julia, and Jordan are there because I think maybe they've kind of taken her place on the card a little bit. Like she's
I don't
still
know.
up there in the conversation, but
Nah, I think she stands toe to toe with them. Honestly,
I think,
the work
yeah,
Jada's
especially
done-
yeah, especially after that promo this week where you got to see the human side of Jada Parker. I
Mm,
think it
I love
it
that.
gives you it gives you a different level to who she is. So she is 10 toes down. She's so good that like we've basically forgotten she was part of a faction.
No,
Yeah,
this
dude.
was
Where the fuck are
this was the
OTM?
figure. So I love that you've just said that because that was a point I was going to bring up of why Jada is now in my idea of standing on that level because Jada's part of Out of the Mud and she is literally out of the mud. Like
But Tyson and
she's
Tyreek have basically taken their place.
that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, she's outshined that faction. Like, everyone hasn't cared about the faction. If the faction was still going, she's your de facto leader because
Is it even still going? Like, is it actually broken up? I don't even know. Like,
this is
where
what
are
I'm
they?
saying.
They
They've not.
haven't been on TV.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They've not been on TV. They've not established that. Jada's just took the moment to be like, well, I ain't got the boys with me, so I'll carry on doing the women's division, and has shown she could run it on her own, and she has stood so good. People have forgot the fact she was part of a faction. And
Yeah,
like,
oh, for real. Yeah, like, and I think she really, like I said, 2024 was Jada Parker, like just all over. I think she did really well. God, I actually really want her to win this match. I just don't think it's going to happen. And she would be if Steph. I'll put it this way: if Stephanie had had the title so recently, I would have picked Jada Parker to win this, and I wouldn't have been mad at it whatsoever. I think, like you say, I think she's more than earned it. I think she carries herself like a champion, and she isn't even the champion. She's got that. She's got that energy about her. She like kind of like how Drew does, how Roman does. Like she walks into a room and she looks like a champion even when she's not a champion. It's just on like obviously the NXT level of that. I do think Stephanie's retaining. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to be a great match. And at somewhere down the line, I think Jada's going to give her a really, really good one-on-one match for the NXT Women's Championship. I don't know where that's going to be. Like Morgan said, this is probably going to be the next 3 feuds for Steph.
yeah.
Like I say, I'd throw even maybe a Zarya in there, maybe a Roxanne for one last hurrah before she goes up to the main roster. But I think the women's division for 2025 is going to be centered around these 4 women for sure. Definitely.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Just to add to the point as well, like the reason why I said Jordan Grace, and this is no like disrespect to any of the other girls there as well. I think they're playing very much storyline as Stephanie Vacour is getting humbled in that she's picked too many. She's gone too big. She's gone the go big or go home of the picking all 4 to go against her. And the reason why I think she's dropping is I genuinely think she's getting the call up. I think she's getting drafted because they've consistently put her on telly. Yes, her promos have been a blend of Spanish and English, but she's done very well on there. She was already given the offer to be main roster, and she said, no, let me go NXT first to work on my English. She's been there a few months, and already you can tell the improvements there. I think they'll just push her to main roster. That's
interesting that
honestly,
you make that point.
That's what I say. That's how I see it at the moment. And that's why I said I don't want it to come across as disrespectful to the other girls, because I think any of those other girls could easily get drafted as well. But I think there's less story for Stephanie Vacour to carry on doing than the rest of the girls. I think there's more story for Jordan Grace, Jada Parker, and Julia, especially because I think they could, if they really wanted to, they could genuinely do a Julia Asuka type run, and then in a couple years have it Julia versus Asuka, and be like, look, I matched your NXT run. Let's go.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. In terms of the draft this year, I honestly really think it needs to be a very woman-centered draft because you've got. I mean, this has been said for over a year now. Probably the best women's division in the world in the NXT women's division right there, and it is stacked. It is so stacked to the point where if you took 4 or 5 women away from that roster, it would still be stacked.
Facts.
Like, that's how good that women's division is right now. Like, built from top to bottom. Like, even the people who get jobbed out every single week are pretty damn good. And I really think at this point, like you say, Stephanie could go up to the main roster. I think Jordan Grace could go up to the main roster. I'm very surprised that she actually went to NXT. I'm not going to lie. Seeing as, like you say, she has a mainstream appeal. People know who she is. Julia, I can understand why she went to NXT because obviously in Japan, she's very well known. The wrestling fans know who she is, but a wider audience maybe are not as familiar as. But like, at the moment, again, Julia could easily go up to the main roster. She got a decent reaction at the Royal Rumble. Jada Parker, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, 3 other people who were built in NXT pretty much for the most part, who are more than ready to make that next step onto the main roster. I don't even know why, like, it's taken so long to take Roxanne Perez up. I mean, I understand that she was women's champion. She held that division together. And I can't even say at a time when it was lackluster because it wasn't. It was stacked. So, so it's there are a lot of women who could move up to the main roster, and honestly, the main roster kind of needs them. Like, there's a lot of empty spaces on that main roster where, for some reason, WWE have not capitalized on some people's momentum. People have fell off and are just not doing anything at the moment.
Especially the new card belts for the women division. Like, we need more challengers for the IC and the North American. Don't get me wrong, Chelsea's North American run has been stellar. It's one of the most entertaining things I have right now in the women's division in SmackDown.
The US one, doing
but,
US.
Yeah.
Right.
I said North American.
Chelsea.
I said Chelsea.
Yeah.
I meant to say like
Sorry, I
North...
got confused then because we were talking about the North American before.
No, that's why I said North American, because I meant to say the US, but because we spoke about North American. North American. But yeah, what I was saying there is like there is a lot of the girls that are currently in NXT you could easily move and start doing defenses with the IC, start doing defenses with the US title. There are plenty of characters that can easily land there.
I agree. I think it just needs like a total. Like, Morgan, do you agree with us? I just think the main roster needs a total new injection of like women in the division.
Yeah, 100%. It feels like a lot. It's become very stagnant this year. This year has suffered a lot. It feels like there's not been a lot of movement. It's basically just been a, like, in regards to the women's like world heavyweight title, it's kind of been built around Rhea and Liv.
Yeah, totally. And you've got to take into account as well where I don't think we've really noticed injuries in the women's division for the past year or so because it was very much focused in storylines and Rhea and Liv and like things like that, like you say, until we've introduced 2 mid-card titles and then Rhea's moved out of the women's title picture for a little bit and then Liv kind of lost the title. And then we started to notice the holes in the division. Like, oh, wait, these 2 don't have anyone else to face. Like, because no one's been doing anything. Or like, there's. I mean, look at the people that. You what? Sorry.
Nobody's been built. Like, you've got a roster of women that could have been used, and nobody's been built or touched.
Literally, like it's been focused on like maybe 4 people in like this year. Like you say, Liv and Rhea, Nia, maybe Bailey, like. And then Tiffany's come in, fair play. She was holding the briefcase for a while, so we knew what she was going to do, but we were just kind of waiting around for 6 months. Like, but you got to look at the injuries that we've had over the past couple of like months. We've had Dakota, but Kyrie, Asuka's still not there. Becky left. to go look after the family. Do you know, like there's been a lot of space on that main roster in the women's division where there's been no one to fill it. So I definitely think NXT like women's division like could just inject the main roster like and just hype it back up again.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how else to say it.
No,
I agree.
you that's why I just said yeah to you, because I think like honestly you've landed the nail on the head there for a lot of us here. Because in general, NXT right now is in the most polished era it's been for a long time. Like, I put this on the same pedestal as like early Black and Gold days where everyone hyped it. Like, for me, the women's roster has been arguably the best. Like, people used to say TNA was the best women's division. Same other people are saying different brands, like, you know, Stardom, because that's a all women's promotion. But for me, like, NXT, I always end up coming back, and every episode I've watched so far over the past year, I've genuinely said I'm more interested in the women's matches. I'm more interested in the women's storyline, because they are just cooking every single time. They are putting on banger storylines, banger matches, and each character, like as you perfectly said, can easily land in a main roster because they're built enough already. And we just need more of that establishment a lot in the main roster. Like, it still baffles me that you can't take notes from your developmental brand that are handling the women's division better, and your main roster brand is not. Like,
yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? It is pretty crazy.
Like, share notes. You know what I mean? Like, hand it over.
I think WWE need an excuse to build the women's division on the main roster. Like, maybe like book a new Evolution pay-per-view or something. Like, give it a reason to like give the women a chance at the moment on the main roster, man. That's just my opinion. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like I say, we could probably make a whole podcast about the women's division, etc. But we have got one match to get to, unless I've missed one. I think it's only the NXT title match left, right? I think I believe so.
Yeah.
Sweet. We got the triple threat match. NXT champion Oba Femi, the ruler of NXT, taking on the young OG and what that trick himself, Trick Williams. This is going to be a really interesting match. Like I say, I think we're going to have ramifications from what's been going on for the past couple of weeks in terms of Dark State. I really do think what happens earlier on in the night in Stand Deliver will determine what happens in this match. But I'm going to go to you, Morgan. What do you think is going to happen?
Oh,
I'm putting you on the spot again.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. This one I'm ready for.
Nice.
So this is the match I'm most invested in.
Same.
Just to be clear, if you are saying anything like Oba Femi is mid or anything of such ilk, I refuse to take you seriously at all. Like, your opinion now means nothing to me in any way, shape, or form, and you could just leave any form of conversation. That is my personal opinion of you, making that clear. So, with that being said, Oba has to win. Like, I feel that at this moment you have Oba retain because you need somebody who is just a solid hand, who is fantastic speaker, can just look like dominant in this situation where you haven't got much. You need to rebuild your men's main event scene. Just that island, that pillar right there that you need to obtain to, that mountain to climb. It's got to be Oba Femi for the retention.
Love that. I love that. That guy's promo, just his presence on NXT this week just got me hyped for this match. He's just a beast. He does not care about anyone or anything. Like, he's just like, listen, I'm the ruler. You're crap. I'm going to destroy you. I'm the best. That's like, that's it, really.
It's like, look, the ignorance of youth.
yeah. He's like, look at this. This is what a 20-year-old looks like. Look at this.
Yeah. To be fair, that's
like, look at this bullshit.
It kind of did give me the energy of like a very pissed off uncle looking at his nephew like, what are you doing here?
Like, he just shut him down right then. He was like, "You are a boy."
Literally.
I was like, "Yo, talk to him over."
I think we're all kind of in agreement of Oba's gotta retain then.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad we're all on the Oba train. Like, I'm sorry. I don't give a damn how many little matches Oba's had. Every match he has put on bangers. He
can do it all. He's got. I think he's the best
exactly.
big man. He's the best big man in the company right now. I think
He is the guy. Like, you
Yeah.
ask for promos, he delivers. You ask on crowd interaction, he delivers. You ask for really intense spots, especially powerhouse style spots, he delivers. I'm sorry, I love the fact of I've seen him literally gorilla press someone, and as they're falling, he decided to just sock them in the face in one of his matches. I'm like, you didn't have to do that. They were already going to be knocked out from you just dropping them, but you thought, nah, just for good measure, let me just oof.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, okay, that's my guy.
He saw a man running up the ropes and then dive up towards him. He was like, "I'm just uppercutting you clean out of the air."
literally. One of the absolute ones I loved was the height he threw. I'm pretty sure it was like a Wesley or someone. Like, they already landed on his shoulders, and he went, "Nah, let's go even higher," and threw him even further. I'm like, yeah, and you can't say anything to Oba like that. The guy has dropped into TNA. And look how over he was in TNA as well. Like,
Yeah.
if you can't make him lose. Don't get me wrong. I love the two others that are getting involved. I understand there's the hype for Trick Williams. A lot of fans are still big fans of Trick Williams when he first had the reign. Not me, Morgan. Don't give me that look. That's not me. I'm just saying the fandom of NXT crowds. We did know a lot of people loved that Trick era when he did have the belt, and some people said he actually did have a good title run. I didn't think so. Just putting it out there.
Are you not about it? No.
No, I'm not about it. And I understand Booker T's like, yeah, man, what that Trick and all that crap. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Who's beating up Trick this week? That's anytime I see it now, I'm like, cool, who's beating up Trick? The only slight glimpse that got me interested in Trick again when he slapped the living shit out of Wes. I was like, oh, okay. I see there's some fight in you still. Now I'm interested. But then it quickly died again. I was like, yeah, and you're going against Oba. Cool. Time for you to eat those pins, bro.
Yeah, like I think again, Trick's one of those guys who is more than due going up to the main roster.
Yeah, he needs fresh competition. He needs fresher storylines. He needs something that diversifies him a little more than still being Carmelo Hayes' previous guy and not really coming out of that shell. All he has really behind him, and this is coming from like a lot of people have been saying this, and I'm not trying to say I am that person, but he feels like a very catchphrase wrestler. Of just the whole whoop that Trick is what attached to him and made him.
Which is a shame. It's a shame because he actually can cut very good promos. I mean, in my opinion, he cut his best promos when he was a heel, and when he was mellow.
Yeah,
I think, in my opinion, what you do with Trick, and I know I don't usually like ignoring continuity, ignoring NXT stuff, but I think what is best for both of them, I would put Trick Mello back together. Like I really would. I think both of them bounce off each other so well in terms of what they can both do in the ring. Like Trick has improved in the ring since the early days of NXT. He was always amazing on the microphone. Carmelo Hayes, we know what Carmelo Hayes can do if they ever gave him a chance. I think both of them could do really, really well.
They need each other so much.
Yeah.
Like, and I think another part, like, just going back to the thing of where I was saying he's a catchphrase wrestler, is like, that's not a bad thing, by the way, because we have arguably one of the most over words, and it's just one word of being yeet at the moment, but he also has everything that has gone with him. He can cut promos, he's great in the ring and stuff like that. I just feel Trick is kind of lacking in that area because they've not built him since the title loss. The build they have done for him is I need to become that Trick again. I need the belt again. There hasn't been here's other things to get involved with. All they've kind of really done is that I'm crashing out on everyone because everyone's now judging me that I lost the belt. And I'm like, you could do a lot more with that, though. He
just doesn't feel like the guy. He really does not feel like the guy. Like, Obafemi came out this week and just absolutely daddied him. Like, Obafemi literally just came out and was like, you're still walking around here like you're the guy. And it's like, no, I know you're not, bitch. I'm the guy. Like, sit down and shut your mouth. And then Javon tried it with Oba. And Oba was like, yo, you shut your mouth, little man. I'm the guy. What are you talking about? Like, it does have to be Oba. And I think you have got, I think you've got Obafemi here maybe having a very long title run. I don't want Obafemi to lose the title for like at least up until like around the SummerSlam time, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Devon Evans was talking absolute facts because like, where is the lie? Like Morgan was just saying about him being like unbelievable, and I don't get it either when people say he's overrated. Like, how? My guy's had less than 70 matches, and he's the longest reigning North American champion. He is NXT champion, and he's a 5-star player. He really is. And Javon Evans said something really great on NXT this week. He was like, it's not if Obafemi will be a WrestleMania main eventer in a couple of years. It's when. And it's like, where is the lie? Where's the lie? Like, give me Obafemi versus Roman Reigns. Screw it. Give me Obafemi versus Jacob Fatu. Like, give me any of those things. I'm down for Obafemi. And I think he is really, like Morgan said, held the NXT men's division up over the past couple of months. I think he did his great work with the North American Championship. He's really taken that title and just put it on his shoulder and ran with it, man. Like, he's done very, very well. He didn't crumble in the spotlight. It wasn't a case of the championship makes the man. It's very clearly the man makes the championship when he's holding it. He looks like he should be holding it, and he carries himself like a champion.
No, I 100% agree. And that was the one thing I was going to say about Javon Evans that I really liked in the most recent between them is I love a promo where they're speaking from the heart and you still put over the guy you're going against. It's like look, I've got full respect for you. This is why I've got the respect for you. The fact of like him saying that, look, he will be a WrestleMania main eventer. A lot of people can easily use that, but with the case of it being Obafemi, and when you seen Javon Evans say it, it was believable. And all of us as fans genuinely do believe that. So it added that kind of authenticity to Javon Evans of being like, look, I'm being the realistic guy here. And that kind of added that level for me, but it was like, it was clear as day. The promos, the way they stood against each other, I was like, yeah, it's Oba all day.
I'm going to ask you this, Morgan. In terms of these three guys, like, where do you see him in like a year's time?
I think Javon will have had a title run by this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair. I think Oba will have been called up and just be part of that upper mid-card scene. Just like he'll effectively take the Braun spot where if you need a big guy to do things, and just fit wherever. He's that 5-tool player who can fit anywhere you need him to. And then Trick should probably go back with Melo. Like, I don't think he will, and he'll be probably put on separate rosters to him, which will be dumb. But he should be with next to Melo. But I think he'll end up being like a Raw guy, and then he'll get lost, and we'll all be like, "What happened to Trick?"
Do you think Trick is gonna sink rather than swim on the main roster?
Yeah.
Any reason in particular for that, or like?
He's improved. like massively so, and I think he does good work. I just don't think it's that good a work.
Yeah, there's a
That's
lot of
what I'm saying.
instances. There's a lot of instances in wrestling where your character can carry you more than your in-ring ability. Do you think it's a chance that Trick could be one of those guys, and maybe him being successful?
Not big enough.
No, you don't think so? Because
No.
because I think he's got the look right. He's like 6'4". I think. I think he's a big boy.
Yeah,
He's a big boy. He's bigger than Oba. Like you
Yeah.
put them next to each other, he's taller than Oba. But
Yeah,
I don't know. There seems to for me and how the main roster is, there's something missing.
yeah.
I was going to say the same. Is like, I get the angle you're going with of saying like a character can sometimes push the better in ring work, but as I've said, we've not really seen the character without the belt anymore. We've kind of lost what made us into Trick Williams and into him being a champion. Was he had the confidence, he had the swagger, he walked the talk when he had the belt. Now he's lost it and he's just angry at everyone. And it's like, cool, we get that. Most characters go through that. I'm angry, I've lost the title, I want my rematch arc. But you have made this about like 6 to 7 months of that, and it's got you nowhere. So like, I can't really say there's a character for me at the moment. So unless I see something change, then yeah.
Yeah, I think even the Eddie Thorpe feud did nothing for him. Eddie came out better out of that than Trick.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And look where Eddie Thorpe is now. Like, Eddie Thorpe has landed himself straight into the mid-card title picture, and that's because of that feud.
Very reliable.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna tend to agree with Trick, and it really saddens me. It really does, because how do I put this? He's known on the main roster, like when he's made like an appearance backstage, or when like you see like a bit of a segment, or like if he's stood in the crowd, like the crowd are chanting "What that Trick." People know who he is, and I think he's got that going for him. I really do. But I agree, there is something there that at the moment I don't think he's going to translate all the way to the main roster. I mean, we might be wrong. There has been instances of NXT guys who have gone up to the main roster, and then that something has clicked and they've been very successful. And I hope he's one of those guys, because I think he's insanely charismatic. I think he's very good on the microphone. And if he carries on improving in the ring, he could be a solid guy. But at the moment, he is in danger of being lost in the shuffle, because I don't know where he goes after this apart from the main roster.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It really is. Javon, I agree. I think he'll probably have a championship run this time next year. What title do you think it'll be? North American or NXT title?
Probably North American.
I would say North. Yeah, I'd say North.
Yeah. You think that's going to be like sooner rather than later, or do you think that maybe we wait a little bit longer, maybe towards the end of the year?
When he gets out, it's the leader of Dark Stable, so we'll start talking.
Oh, that's the next thing I was coming to. Do we think Dark State is getting involved in the ending of this match?
I think so.
And if they don't, then I think that makes it more interesting, because if Obafemi retains, which we all said he's going to, wouldn't Dark State get involved before the ending of this match? So you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Like, where does Dark State land in this? Because I think we're very split on this decision, right? Where we either think it's Javon Evans or Trick Williams is the leader of Dark State. I've seen a few people go between these two guys. Now,
yeah,
go on, dude.
No, sorry, continue. I was thinking out loud.
I don't know. It's fine. I love a bit of thinking out loud. It helps me think. I think you have got a problem here where Dark State now have to be involved in this match, because if they're not, then why have they been interfering for weeks with these three boys? You know, and if they don't interfere before the match ends, if one of these guys are the leader, why didn't they help him win the championship?
Exactly. And then it would kind of like make them kick off if they're the de facto leader. Be like, right, I'm outing all these boys. Where the hell was my help? Like, you could.
Yeah.
I think having Javon Evans do it would be interesting because that's such a young dude.
But it's
to be kind of put in that situation, but it makes sense with the type of group they are.
But it's such a disrespected group, and we've done nothing but disrespect Javon this whole time.
Yeah, true.
Like, even if he comes out as the leader and he doesn't win, it can be the case he goes, I'm given this one last opportunity to prove that I deserve to be respected. I need to do this on my own. I need to stand on my own 2 feet. And it can, like, I know they've attacked him and this, that, and the other, but it's that whole Bully Ray Ace and next thing where, you know, even the leader has to take his legs.
Yeah.
For it to be believable. But, like, it's that case. So even in that moment, then you can have, like, even, because I feel like Oba's going to pin Trick.
Yeah.
So that Javon's argument is, you didn't pin me.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a shout, yeah.
And then you run it back, and then he's revealed as the leader, and that's how you do things like that.
And I think that would work in Oba still looking strong, is that it ends up being a 6-on-1 because all of them help out.
I'm leaning towards, I would love Javon to be the leader. Like I say, they're all young guys, hungry. I'm leaning a little bit towards Trick, and the only reason I'm saying Trick is because there was that moment on NXT a couple of weeks ago where they attacked everyone, but just before they attacked Trick, they waited and like stood around him for a minute, and it was kind of like they were saying, "What do we do? Do we do it?" And like he was kind of like, "Come on, hit me, like hit me." Like, and then they attacked him. Like, I know he didn't say that, but that looked like what was going on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I was like, why did they stop? Like, they didn't stop to do anyone else, but they stopped to do Trick. But
yeah,
and I was
but again, is that for me? Yeah, me, that's that 8th and 8th fake. It's that 8th and 8th fake out right there, where they were going after James Storm, and we're like, anytime James would do something, they'd stop until eventually he stopped being useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's true. It's true.
I think that's kind of how they were playing it as well. I think it, like the way Trick kind of called an audible there of like, no, come on then, like gave him the look of like, no, swing at me, you have to make it look believable. Worked in that, could work very easy in that scenario.
That's what I mean. I would be very happy with either of those people being the leader of Dark State, to be honest with you. Like I say, I would like it more to be Javon. It gives Javon a bit of an edge, but from a business point of view, he's quite popular with the crowd. You want to turn one of your biggest baby faces on your roster? Maybe not. But Trick at the moment, we've all said it, needs a bit of like revitalizing in his character. He's already kind of leaning towards a bit of a dick at the moment towards Javon. It makes sense. It makes sense for him to maybe try a different tactic to get to the NXT Championship to take over NXT. It works in continuity for both of these guys. So I'm going to be happy either way, to be honest with you. But yeah, like Morgan, could you see it being Trick? Like, would you want it to be? Would you like take that, or would you not be happy with it?
No, I don't think it works.
I don't.
Yeah. The reason is, so for me, from a perspective, and we've kept using the word leader in regards to the leader of Dark State, when they've made it very clear that they're all equals.
Yeah.
If you put Trick in that spot, he de facto becomes the leader instantly. Devon is still in a place where he can sit there and hang with those guys and they can still be equals.
Mm.
Yeah.
And he has that same cadence as like Osiris Griffin, whatever his name is, in regards to how he delivers promos, that intense, what's good, cagey, kind of aggressive style of promo when he cuts promos. So it just fits. It's an instant fit. It's there.
Yeah.
He does.
Trick
Like,
doesn't have that.
I was gonna say, like, his promos are very similar. Like, he says like gang and like bruh and all that sort of shit. Like, he proper, like, he doesn't sound like anyone else on the microphone apart from Dark State. And yeah, like, I've always thought about that about Javon, and I've always admired that about him. Like, his promos sound different to anyone else's. His backstage segments sound different to anyone else. He sounds like he's just a normal guy who they've decided to interview, and that kind of works with Dark State. So, sorry to interrupt you, by the way. Were you going to say something else?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. And I think that, like I said, I'm leaning more towards Trick, but I want it to be Javon. Like, they're giving me clues where it's probably going to be Trick, but I want it to be Javon. Like you said, for all them reasons, it does make sense. He is kind of on the same level as those guys. He's been kind of thrown into the main event, but he hasn't really been around long enough to be a main event player. Like, he's just sort of like come out of the situation for the past couple of months quite lucky.
What, by the way, throwing it out here, what if we're all being worked? What if Javon Evans called an audible to that group about Trick and said, don't swing at him. I want him at Stand and Deliver. So that's why they hesitated before jumping in, was the shit. Javon has said, let's not. So do we still?
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah. That's just one other way, like, because then it gives us an easy story hook line of, oh, it's got to be Trick. Trick's got to be the guy leading it now. Whereas then if Javon comes out, it still makes plausible sense. It was the Javon said to him, oh, don't go for Trick yet. I need to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just came to mind while we were speaking on it. I could just another alternative angle to make it still work for Javon as well.
We're all just being worked. It's another faction of the system from TNA.
It's a work. It's a work.
It's just a part of the system from TNA. The leader's Moose.
Bro, I made that booking. I said that so early on, and I wished it was true, because it would have been so sick if it was.
It would have been cool. I'll give you that, dude. I'll give you that. Guys, have we got any more thoughts on NXT Stand and Deliver before we wrap up? Anything at all?
No, I'm just
excited.
I'm just ready to watch it and get into Mania weekend. Like, it for me now, Mania weekend doesn't properly start until I watch Stand and Deliver, because that's been like my go-to now for the past few Manias. Is I'll always watch Stand and Deliver beforehand.
Yeah, same here.
I'm well excited.
I'm very excited. Right, well, just before we wrap up, I just want to name 2 or 3 matches. I recommend that anyone watch. I mean, you're all wrestling fans, so you know, I'm assuming that you've probably seen it. Go back and rewatch Penta versus Finn. That was an amazing match on Raw. It was so good. I think the fact that we've got that Fatal 4-Way coming for WrestleMania, I'm looking forward to it. Check out, like we said before, Tatum Paxton versus Lola Vice. I thought that was a really good match on NXT. I would have liked that to have gone for a little bit longer, to be honest. I was really, really enjoying it. And I know Hank and Tank won, but I didn't mind the gauntlet. Go check it out. Like, especially if you're a Hank and Tank fan, like I know you two are, go back and watch it. It's a really, really good match. But yeah, guys, like I said, just quickly going over the matches once again. Go check out the Fatal 4-Way this Saturday, Women's Championship. We have got a triple threat for the NXT Championship, North American Championship on the line, All Ego versus Ricky Saints. We have got an NXT Tag Team Championship up for grabs. Fraxium taking on Choo Choo Woo Woo, whatever the hell they say, Honk Honk, Hank and Tank. Yeah, NXT is looking to be a fire pay-per-view. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, we've got another episode of an Outcasted podcast coming for you guys tomorrow. It is the WrestleMania predictions. That is going to be a long one. This one's been a long one. That is probably going to be a long one. God damn it. 16 matches, I think there is on Jesus. I know. Get your marathon shoes on, guys, because it's going to be a hell of a ride. If you like this video and you've enjoyed watching it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the bell so you never miss a video and subscribe to the channel. If you are a first-time viewer, you can also go find us on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, and on TikTok at Outcasted OC. Shout out to Morgan. Do you want to plug yourself before I wrap up, my guy?
Yeah, find me everywhere, Simply Delicious Tour. But this weekend, Mania weekend, I am with Win Wrestling, doing the whole weekender. Viva Last Win, as it says right there underneath me. That is at the Black Diamond in Northampton. Come check me out. Come say hi. I will be there. I'm not saying what I'm doing, but it's going to be a good time.
I love it. A surprise is so for anyone who comes and sees you. But Ross, it's been an absolute pleasure with you, my guy, my fellow NXT partner in crime on Outcasted. Always good to have a lovely Morgan and lovely guests on to give their predictions. But for now, guys, get strapped in. It's WrestleMania week, baby. Peace out.
We'll see you tomorrow.